My name is Alex, and I never thought I'd be writing something like this for strangers to read. But here I am. 5 months ago, my life got ripped apart in a way I still can't fully wrap my head around. I was with someone I cared about deeply, my girlfriend. We'd been together for a while, and I thought I could trust her. On top of that, I have a brother. He's only a couple of years younger than me, and we grew up side by side, doing everything brothers usually do. He was supposed to be one of the closest people in my life, and then I found out the two of them had slept together. At first, I didn't know. I went months without realizing it, months living normally, while this disgusting secret sat there like a shadow in the background. I laughed with my girlfriend, I hung out with my brother, all while being completely blind to what had already happened behind my back. Then, yesterday, out of nowhere, my brother confessed. He looked me in the eye and admitted it. The second those words left his mouth, I lost control. My fist flew before I even thought about it, and the next thing I knew, we were brawling in the middle of the room. I was screaming, he was yelling back, furniture got knocked over, and years of family bonds disintegrated in a matter of minutes. By the time it was over, my knuckles were raw, my chest was heaving, and the two of us weren't brothers anymore. We were enemies. When I finally calmed down enough to process what he'd said, the rage turned into something heavier. I kept asking myself, why? Why would he do this to me? Why would my girlfriend let it happen? Out of everyone in the world, why each other? That's the part I can't understand. Strangers can hurt you, sure. Friends can let you down. But your own brother, that feels like something out of a nightmare I can't wake up from. Ending things with her was immediate. There wasn't even a conversation to be had. When I confronted her, she admitted it, broke down crying, and tried to say she was sorry. But in that moment, her words felt hollow. Sorry doesn't rebuild trust. Sorry doesn't erase betrayal. I walked away, and I haven't spoken to her since. But the situation with my brother isn't so clean-cut. She's out of my life permanently, but he's still tied to me by blood. That's where the real torment starts. I can erase her number, block her on everything, pretend she never existed. I can't do that with him. He's my brother. We share history, family, holidays, childhood memories. Cutting him off would mean tearing open cracks in my entire family. Yet every time I see his face, all I feel is disgust. I've been replaying every memory of the last year, looking for signs I missed. Did they act weird around each other? Did I brush off things that should have raised alarms? He swears it only happened once, that it was a mistake. But how do I believe that? If he kept this from me for 5 months, what's stopping him from hiding more? What if there's another layer of betrayal I haven't uncovered yet? It feels like my entire world has been poisoned. When I think back on family dinners, group outings, or even just chilling at home, I wonder, were they laughing at me behind my back? Did they share secret glances, silent reminders of what they did? Those thoughts eat away at me, and I can't shut them down. After the fight, I locked myself in my room. My hands were still trembling, my chest still burning from the adrenaline. I stared at my reflection in the mirror, and I barely recognized myself. My eyes were bloodshot. My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. I kept whispering, "Why would you do this to me?" Even though no one was there to answer. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there with the weight of it all pressing down on me, feeling like my whole life had been ripped in half. I tried distracting myself, music, scrolling on my phone, even just pacing around, but nothing worked. Everywhere my mind went, it circled back to the same place, my brother with my girlfriend. That image carved itself into my brain, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't push it out. The anger came in waves. 1 second I was furious at him, the next second I hated her. Then it would flip back and forth. But in the middle of all that rage, a colder, heavier feeling crept in. This hollow sense of worthlessness. I started asking myself if it was somehow my fault. Did I do something wrong in my relationship? Did I push her away without realizing it? Was there something in me that made it easy for them to betray me? I know logically the blame isn't mine. They made the choice, not me. But emotions don't always follow logic. That self-doubt still sits there, whispering, making me second-guess everything about myself. When the sun came up, I felt like I'd aged 10 years overnight. My eyes stung, my body ached, and I couldn't even bring myself to eat breakfast. My parents noticed something was wrong immediately. They always do, but I brushed them off. I couldn't bring myself to explain. Not yet. How do you even start that conversation? Hey, Mum and Dad, your sons just beat the hell out of each other because one of them slept with the other's girlfriend. There's no version of that conversation that doesn't tear a family apart. Later that day, my brother tried to reach out. He sent a text. Can we talk? Just 3 words, but they made my blood boil. After everything he did, he thought he could just talk it out like nothing. I ignored it. He called. Twice. I let it ring. I wasn't ready. Maybe I'll never be ready. But then came the loneliness. As much as I hated him and hated her, I hated even more the fact that I didn't have anyone to talk to. The 2 people I would normally turn to in tough times were the exact ones who hurt me. That realization broke me in a way the betrayal itself didn't. It left me feeling completely stranded. So I started writing. Not to anyone in particular, just writing to myself, trying to get it all out of my head. That's the only reason I'm sharing this now. I guess some part of me hopes that by putting this out there, I can breathe again. In the days since, I've noticed how much this changes the way I see the world. I used to trust easily. I believed people when they said they cared. Now, every word feels suspicious. Every smile looks fake. Every friendship feels temporary. I hate that I've become this cynical version of myself, but how can I not be? When the people closest to you are the ones who burn you, it makes you question everyone else. I keep thinking back to the moment he confessed. He didn't cry. He didn't beg for forgiveness. He just admitted it, like ripping off a bandage. The more I replay it, the more I wonder if he even feels the weight of what he did. Was it just guilt eating him alive, and telling me was his way of lightening the load? Or did he actually care about how it would destroy me? That question keeps me up at night. Did he confess because he loves me as a brother and couldn't live with the lie? Or did he confess because he wanted to set himself free? The answer matters, because if it's the latter, then it wasn't an act of courage. It was another selfish choice on top of the betrayal. I wish I could stop thinking about it, but the truth is, I'm stuck. My heart is torn between rage and grief, and neither of them lets me move forward. The hardest part about all of this isn't just the betrayal, it's the silence that follows it. The way the world keeps moving, while I feel like mine has completely fallen apart. Friends text me about small things. Co-workers joke around. Neighbors wave hello. On the surface, nothing has changed, but inside, everything is different. I walk around with this heavy secret pressing against my chest. Nobody knows the full story, except me, my brother, and my ex. And that's its own kind of torment, because the people who cause the pain are the only ones who truly understand it. Talking to anyone else feels impossible. I don't want to drag my parents into this yet, and I don't want my friends to look at me with pity, so I hold it all in, pretending to be fine while I'm bleeding inside. When I lie awake at night, I replay the fight in my head, the sound of my fist connecting with his face, his shove knocking me back, the look in his eyes when he realized I wasn't just angry, I was broken. That's the look that stays with me. He didn't look like my brother anymore. He looked like a stranger. And that's maybe the worst part. I lost not only my relationship, but also my brother in the same moment. 2 people gone at once. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder what would have happened if he hadn't confessed. Would I still be with her, blissfully unaware? Would I still think of my brother as someone I could trust? Would I still be laughing at his jokes, texting her goodnight, planning for a future that was never real? The thought makes me sick. It feels like my entire life during those 5 months was a lie. The thing that makes it worse is that he chose to confess. Nobody forced him. Nobody caught him. He carried it for 5 months and then one day decided to tell me. Was that supposed to make me respect him more? Am I supposed to be grateful for his honesty? I don't even know how to feel about that. A part of me wants to acknowledge that it took courage, but another part of me thinks he only did it to relieve himself, to unload his guilt and dump the pain on me. Now I'm stuck between two extremes. One side of me wants to cut him off completely, never speak to him again, treat him like he never existed. The other side remembers that he's my brother, someone I grew up with, someone who was supposed to be family forever. Forgiving him feels impossible, but hating him forever feels unbearable too, and that's the nightmare I'm stuck in. And then comes the part I hate to admit. A tiny, ugly part of me is glad he told me. Not because I forgive him, or because it makes it better, but because at least now I know the truth. Living a lie might have been easier, but it would have been fake. Now, even though I'm in pain, at least I see things clearly. But clarity doesn't heal. It just exposes the wound, and the wound is deep. There's this constant tension in my chest now. Every time my phone buzzes, I wonder if it's him again. Sometimes I want it to be, so I can unleash everything I haven't said yet. Other times I hope it isn't, because seeing his name on my screen makes me want to throw my phone across the room. It's like I'm trapped in this cycle of anger, grief, and confusion with no way out. And that's why I'm here, telling this story to people I'll never meet. Because if you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever had the ground ripped out from under you by the people you trusted most, you know how isolating it feels. You know what it's like to walk around with a smile that doesn't reach your eyes, pretending everything's fine when inside you're screaming. If any of this resonates with you, if you've been through anything even remotely like this, let me pause for a moment to say, you're not alone. And while I'm sharing my story here, I want to keep sharing more like it. So if you're watching this as a video right now, please take a second to subscribe and hit that like button. It's such a small action, but it helps me know that what I'm putting out there is reaching people, that I'm not just shouting into the void. Back to the story. I don't think there's ever going to be a version of this where I feel okay about it. The best I can hope for is learning how to carry the scar without letting it control me. But I'm not there yet. Right now, the wound is still fresh, and everything I do seems to circle back to the betrayal. Even little things remind me. I'll see a couple holding hands on the street and feel this stab of bitterness. I'll hear my brother's name in conversation and feel my stomach twist. I'll watch a movie where the main characters talk about trust, and I'll want to throw something at the screen. It feels like the universe keeps throwing reminders at me, forcing me to relive the pain again and again. And yet, in the middle of all this anger and sorrow, there's still a question I can't escape. What now? What do I do with my brother? Do I give him a second chance? Do I cut him out forever? Do I leave the decision for time to make? Every option feels like it comes with its own kind of suffering. That's where I'm stuck right now, in the middle of uncertainty, drowning in questions that don't have easy answers. The days after his confession started to blur together. It felt like I was moving through thick fog, just trying to keep myself functioning. I still went to work, still forced myself to eat, still went through the motions of daily life, but none of it felt real. It was like I was watching myself from outside my own body, just a shell trying to survive. My phone kept lighting up with his messages. Some were short, "Please talk to me." Others were longer, filled with explanations, excuses, and apologies. I couldn't bring myself to respond. Every time I thought about typing back, my fingers froze. What do you even say to someone who's broken your trust so completely? There are no words strong enough to match the damage. One night, though, I gave in. Not because I was ready to talk, but because I couldn't take the silence anymore. I called him, and when he picked up, there was this shaky relief in his voice, like he thought maybe I was going to forgive him. That only made me angrier. I told him flat out, "You're not my brother right now. You're just someone who stabbed me in the back." He tried to explain, to tell me it was a mistake, that he hated himself for it, that he couldn't carry the guilt anymore. He kept repeating, I'm sorry, until the words meant nothing. I finally hung up because hearing his voice made me want to put my fist through the wall. Afterward, I sat in the dark, and for the first time, I let myself cry. Not the kind of tears you wipe away quickly, but the kind that come from deep inside, the kind that feel like they'll never stop. I cried for the relationship I lost, for the brother I no longer recognized, for the version of myself that believed I was safe with them. Those tears felt endless, but they also felt necessary. In the middle of all this, I've started realizing something. Betrayal changes you. It doesn't just hurt in the moment, it reshapes you. It makes you suspicious where you used to be trusting. It makes you guarded where you used to be open, and it makes you angry in ways that don't go away just because time passes. There are mornings when I wake up with a split second of peace, before my mind reminds me of what happened. And then the day feels heavy again. I wonder how long it'll be before I wake up without that instant rush of pain. Weeks, months, years, maybe never. And then there are nights when I think about reaching out to him again, not to forgive, but to unload everything I haven't said. To tell him exactly what he's taken from me, to make him feel the depth of the damage he caused. But every time I think about doing that, I realize it wouldn't change anything. Nothing I say can rewind time. Nothing I say can make it unhappen. Sometimes I think the only path forward is distance. To cut him out of my life completely, at least for now, until the wound isn't so raw. But then I picture the fallout. Holidays split apart. Parents caught. In the middle, relatives asking questions nobody wants to answer. It's not just about me and him. It's about the ripple effect, and that makes me feel trapped all over again. Still, part of me wonders if maybe one day I'll be able to forgive him, not because he deserves it, but because I don't want to carry this weight forever. Hatred is exhausting. Anger burns hot, but it also burns you out. Forgiveness doesn't feel possible right now, but maybe in the distant future, it could be the only way I can finally breathe again. But for now, I'm still angry, I'm still hurt, I'm still broken, and I'm still trying to figure out how to put the pieces of myself back together. There's something strange about betrayal. It doesn't just stay in the past, it follows you everywhere, like an echo that won't fade. Even now, weeks after the confession, I'll catch myself thinking about things that have nothing to do with my brother or my ex, and suddenly the memory hits me like a punch in the chest. It's like I can't escape it, no matter what I do. I've started avoiding places and routines that remind me of either of them. The cafe my girlfriend and I used to go to on Sundays. I can't step foot inside. The park where my brother and I used to shoot hoops. I drive past it without looking. It feels like the city itself has been booby-trapped with reminders of what I've lost. Some nights, when I'm lying in bed, I start replaying old conversations in my head. The I love you texts, the late-night talks with my brother, the moments when I felt safe. I replay them and think, was any of it real? Or were they both lying to me the whole time? That's the poison of betrayal. It makes you doubt not just the future, but the past too. It rewrites memories you once cherished and turns them into something painful. I've noticed how much it's changed the way I interact with other people too. I don't trust the same way anymore. Even with friends I've known for years, I keep a wall up. If they cancel plans, I wonder if there's a hidden reason. If they don't text back right away, I question if they're avoiding me. It's exhausting to live like this. But once you've been blindsided by people you trusted most, it's hard to shake the paranoia. At the same time, there's a part of me that refuses to let this define me forever. I don't want to spend the rest of my life looking over my shoulder, suspecting everyone, closing myself off. That's not the kind of person I want to be. But right now, it feels like I don't have a choice. The scar is too fresh. the wound, is still bleeding. Every so often, I catch myself missing my brother. Not the version of him who betrayed me, but the version I grew up with. The one who played video games with me late into the night. The one who shared inside jokes that nobody else understood. The one who was supposed to have my back no matter what. I miss him, even though I hate him, and that contradiction tears me apart. Because here's the truth. When someone betrays you like this, you don't just lose trust, you lose a piece of yourself. I feel like part of me died when he confessed, and I don't know how to get that piece back. I don't know if I ever will. People keep saying time heals everything. Maybe they're right. Maybe in a year or two, this won't hurt as much. Maybe one day I'll look at him and feel nothing instead of rage. But right now, the idea of healing feels so far away, it might as well be on another planet. So I keep writing. I keep talking into the void, hoping that somehow it lightens the load. Maybe someone out there will hear this and feel less alone. Maybe someone will hear it and think, yeah, I know that pain too. And maybe that's enough for now to know that even if my trust has been shattered, I'm not the only one who's been broken like this. What I do know is that I'm not ready to forgive, not today, not tomorrow, maybe not ever. Forgiveness isn't just about saying it's okay. It's about being able to look at someone without feeling the knife in your back again. And I'm nowhere near that point. For now, all I can do is keep breathing, keep waking up, and keep moving forward one day at a time. It's not much, but it's something. Looking back now, I can see how much has changed in such a short amount of time. A single confession cracked open my world and left me standing in the wreckage of everything I thought I knew. 5 months of living in ignorance. Then one night of truth, and now I'm here, trying to rebuild myself from the ground up. Some days I feel strong, like maybe I can handle this. I tell myself that the betrayal doesn't define me, that it's just one chapter in my story, not the whole book. Other days, I feel like I'm drowning all over again. A song, a memory, even just hearing my brother's name can send me spiraling, back into the pain. Healing doesn't move in a straight line. It's messy, unpredictable, and sometimes it feels like I'm going backward instead of forward. The hardest part is still figuring out what to do with my brother. Cutting him off seems clean in theory, but in reality, it's messy. It would mean breaking up the family, forcing people to take sides, creating tension that might never go away. On the other hand, trying to forgive him feels impossible right now. Every time I picture his face, I see the betrayal first, not the brother I used to know. Maybe one day, years from now, we'll sit down as older men and actually talk. Maybe there'll be enough distance between us for me to see him as human again, instead of just the source of my pain. Or maybe we'll never repair what's been broken, and this will just be one of those tragedies that lingers in the background of our family forever. I honestly don't know. What I do know is this. I can't live my life waiting for him to fix it. He made his choice, and I have to make mine. My focus now has to be on myself, on healing, on growing, on learning how to trust again, even if it takes years. Because if I let this betrayal harden me forever, then he wins twice. Once when he broke me, and again when I never let myself recover. I've learned something through all of this. Pain doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the people closest to you, and that cuts deeper than anything else. But surviving that pain, finding a way to stand again, even when the people you love knock you down, that's where strength is built. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about admitting it did and still choosing to keep going. So here I am, still angry, still hurt, still figuring it out one day at a time. But I'm also still breathing, still standing, still fighting to not let this define me forever. Maybe that's the small victory I can hold on to for now. And if you've stuck with me through this entire story, I want to thank you. Just knowing that someone out there is listening, even if it's through a screen, helps me feel less alone in all of this. With that said, thanks for watching. Until next time, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this.